Well, hello everyone. This is Carrie Beck. Yes, I have been home all day long. You can see I'm in my comfy hoodie and everything. So, I was trying to figure out how to get this thing to look right. Okay, so today we're talking about building confidence. And so I am super excited about this. I think it's an important topic because this is what I hear from homeschool moms on a regular basis. So, let's just dive right in and talk about three ways that or three things to consider. I wouldn't say this is how you are going, this will help. It will help you mentally because I think a lot of our confidence problems are up in here. They are not. They're not necessarily the day-to-day strategy, how do you teach and all that stuff. If you're having a problem with confidence, it is up here. So let's talk about this. First of all, I got my little chart today. Let me take this thing off because it's going to fall off. First of all, yes, you are. I'm going to tell you right now, if you are spending time with your kids, helping them with school, you are doing more than most schools and most parents around the world, especially, I would think, even in the United States. Yes, you are doing enough. So, well, how do we know that we're doing enough? I would say one thing we need to be sure of is think about that one goal. If you were in our boot camp last week, you wrote down one goal from now until the end of this school year. And whatever you're doing in your school needs to always focus on this one goal. When I started out, it was to read. I wanted my kids to love books. So we read aloud every single day, and they read on their own every single day. And I tried to find books they would enjoy as well. So you want to schedule your homeschool. However you're scheduling your homeschool, you want to focus on that one goal. What is the one thing you want to accomplish? It may be something like that you discover all the things about the Middle Ages. Or one of mine was critical thinking skills. Or it may be character building. Then that will be just as important as academics. And sometimes I think it's more important. Remember, it is not the quantity of time that you are spending, and it's really the quality. Because I believe in your homeschool, you can do 1 hour of homeschool work, and that can have more impact than 3 or 4 hours in a classroom. Because you got 20 or 30 kids running around. I know, I was a public school teacher. I know what went on, and I can't even imagine what's going on these days in the public school. So just think about it. 1 hour in your homeschool can have a lot more impact. You don't need to be homeschooling all day long. If you're doing that to make yourself feel like you're doing it, you are drowning your children. So you need to just stop, take a step back, rest in God, and He's going to show you what to do. Here's another one, not easy for me. Let go of perfection. I don't know about you, but I was, here the past tense, I was a perfectionist. And when I had children, I had to let that go. It caused way too much stress to have everything perfect. There are things that I wasn't quite a perfectionist, but I'll give you an example. When I was in high school, I liked to sew. And if I messed something up, I ripped that seam out over and over till it was just perfect. I can make a quilt now, and the corners don't even always match, but hey, it's done, and I like it, and that's good. What are you being a perfectionist about with your kids? Is it that checklist mentality? Get it away. Get off the checklist mentality. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a checklist. I'm not saying you shouldn't teach your kids how to use a list and check things off. What I am saying is when you take someone else's checklist than yours or God's that He's giving you, and you feel like obligated to do all these things, then you just strangle your children. They don't love learning anymore. So you need to let go of perfection if you would like to have more confidence. And the thing is, this again is all up here in your mind. You know your children. Now this is really important if you want some confidence. If you know your children better than anyone else. Seriously. You know your kids very well. You know if they are learning. You don't really need a test to tell you. I didn't need to give my kids a history test. I knew whether they knew it because we talked about things. Now, Math might be a little bit different. That was because, but even then, I didn't feel like, I would test them, make sure they knew enough before we moved on. But I really knew by the time they took their test whether they really knew it or not. They probably didn't really need a test. If you are consistently, and there's another word, we're going to talk about consistency. Oh no, I'm talking about that in my writing. So we'll talk about it now. Consistently. If you just do small things every day consistently, you will have a huge impact on your kids. If you will model godly character consistently, you are going to be doing plenty. If you will model your love of learning consistently every day, even if it's just reading a book for 5 minutes a day. That sounds so silly. Like, what impact? If you read a book for 5 minutes every day from now until May, I bet you will finish 3 or 4 books, maybe even more, depending on what they are. And you will be modeling to your kids reading is important. Mom likes reading. Mom thinks it's important as well. When it comes to letting go of perfection and knowing if you've done enough and having that confidence, you need to trust your gut. And more importantly, you need to trust Jesus. If he shows you to do something and it doesn't go along with everyone else, that is okay. Trust your gut, what God is telling you. Listen to him. When you're preparing, just take 2 or 3 minutes and pray, God, please bless this. Show me where you want me to go this week in our homeschool. You might even pray that with your kids before you start each Monday. I wish I had done that. I think we did have prayer time. To be honest, I don't remember. So that's probably not very good. But that would be one thing I would do again, is pray before we started. Well, we always prayed at breakfast for our day, but especially pray for our week, just that we would be following God. So, yes, you are doing enough. You're doing more than most people. You're just spending time with your children. Think about that one goal. Let go of perfectionists. You really know your children better than anyone else. And then, here's the hard one for most of us. Quit comparing. All right? This goes a lot of ways. If we quit comparing and we listen to God, he's going to give us the confidence, because we are doing what he wants us to do. Are you unconfident that you're not feeding them correctly? If you those kinds of things? No, most of us know we're doing those kinds of things. For some reason, with homeschooling, we just start stressing out. And so I think it's really hard. It's really important that we don't compare ourselves to our friends. We don't compare ourselves to Facebook. We don't compare ourselves to the curriculum this is what you're supposed to do. We're in 5th grade. We need to study the United States. No. You do what God tells you to do. And I will tell you, it's hard not to see that bright, shiny object that keeps flying around and all the new stuff and not follow it. Now, I will say, if you don't have a proven plan, if you don't have a direction of where you are going, you need to find a proven plan. You need to find something that you have seen proven that has really impacted kids. I know that in our leadership course, one of the things we do is we teach the tools of learning, and they are based on centuries of using these 3 tools, all the way back to Greek and Roman time periods. Those are the tools. Those are proven because they are still working today. And so those are the kinds of things you need to be searching for. I am giving a class tomorrow, sharing a proven plan. You're welcome to join me. The link is in the description, howtohomeschoolmychild.com/4steps. But leave a comment. Let me know if you if you have a proven plan, or if you struggle with comparing. Just because it seems like everyone else is doing it doesn't mean it's the best thing for your family. All right? So, yes, do you have that one goal? Leave these in the comments, and I'll come back and check. Do you have one goal that you're following? Do you feel like you struggle with perfectionists? Can you let go of that? Could you commit right now, from now until May, that you are going to quit being a perfectionist? You're going to listen to God, and he's going to give you the confidence that you need. The other thing I want to end with on this quit comparing, especially, I think we need to remember that relationships with our kids, with our husband, our siblings, the kids' relationships over academics, our relationship with God over academics. This will get your kids further than anything you could teach. Yes, they need to know how to read and write and be able to communicate with people. But seriously, if they have a relationship with God, they are going to be okay. If they can get along with people, they're going to be okay. Think about Mary, the mother of Jesus. She was probably illiterate, and yet she wrote this, I mean, she sang this beautiful song of all these words from the Old Testament. How did she know them? Because they were in her heart. Her parents had poured that into her. And so you don't have to even be able to read and write. Now, in this generation, you probably do, but at the same time, we need to realize that it's relationships over academics. It is God over academics. And like I said, let's just review for a second. So, yes, you are doing enough, especially if you have your one goal and you are following that. Let go of perfection and just start taking one step, following God. Just one little thing consistently over and over will build your confidence. And then quit comparing to others, to the curriculum, to your parents, your in-laws, or whoever. Just quit comparing to everything else. Now, tomorrow I am sharing my proven plan on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. You can sign up for free. It's right here in the description or up here or some direction. I finished putting the final touches on it this morning because it's sort of, I mean, there is some similar information, but I've made some changes with what I'm sharing tomorrow. I am so excited for those of you that are going to join me. If you haven't signed up, do it now, and I will see you Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't wait. It is a live class, and I will encourage you to be on the live class. We will have a live Q&A at the end. Ask me whatever questions you want about homeschooling. So, that is it. I am Carrie Beck, How to Homeschool My Child. Y'all have a great day.